Imagine loving a sport so much and then finding out some of its biggest moments were bought. Hi everyone, I'm Aatif Nawaz, and today we're talking about one of cricket's ugliest but most important stories, the match fixing and spot fixing scandals of the 2000s and the 2010s. Now, just to be clear, we're not doing any gossip, we're just doing the facts, the context, and what the game learned the hard way. To understand the 2000s, you have to start in the year 2000 with South Africa and India. Delhi police revealed taped phone calls between South Africa's captain Hansie Cronje and an Indian bookmaker, and at first, Cronje denied everything. Within days, he confessed. A national hero, captain of the post-apartheid Rainbow team, admitted he'd taken money from bookies. The King Commission in South Africa dug into it. Cronje admitted to receiving money for providing information and for manipulating situations in the game. Two of his teammates, Herschel Gibbs and Henry Williams, admitted they'd been approached and agreed to underperform in one ODI, though in the end, it didn't happen as planned. Cronje was banned for life from cricket and tragically died in a plane crash in 2002, leaving behind a mixture of affection, shock, betrayal that still haunts South African cricket. Almost in parallel, India was rocked by its own investigation. A CBI probe into match fixing led to a disciplinary report from the BCCI. By late 2000, former India captain Mohammad Azharuddin and domestic player Ajay Sharma received life bans, while Ajay Jadeja and Manoj Prabhakar were banned for 5 years. Years later, Indian courts overturned the life bans on Azharuddin and Sharma, but the damage to public trust had already been done. The idea that captains and stars could be involved in shattering the image of the game, the gentleman's game, was heartbreaking. And it wasn't just the big teams. In Kenya, Maurice Odumbe, captain of one of the great World Cup giant killers, was banned for 5 years in 2004 after an ICC inquiry found he'd received money from an Indian bookmaker and had inappropriate contact around possible fixing. For a small cricketing nation still riding high on the 2003 World Cup semi-final, it was a brutal blow. In the West Indies, Marlon Samuels received a 2-year ban in 2008 after a disciplinary committee found he'd passed on team information to a bookmaker during an ODI series in India in 2007. It wasn't outright lose the game fixing, but it showed how corruption could start with something as seemingly small as inside information. So by the late 2000s, cricket knew it had a problem. The ICC's Anti-Corruption and Security Unit, the ACSU, was up and running. Players were being educated, codes of conduct were being strengthened, but then came one of the most infamous episodes of them all, Lord's 2010. In August 2010, during a test match between England and Pakistan at Lord's, undercover reporters from a British newspaper filmed an agent accepting money and predicting specific no balls at exact moments in the game. Fast bowlers Mohammad Amir and Mohammad Asif then bowled huge no balls at precisely those moments, and Pakistan captain Salman Butt was alleged to be involved in orchestrating it. This wasn't about throwing the whole match. This was what came to be known as spot fixing, manipulating tiny bettable moments within a game. The ICC provisionally suspended Butt, Asif and Amir. All three were later banned for terms ranging from 5 to 10 years. UK courts then convicted them of criminal offences related to corruption. All three served time in prison. For many fans, watching one of the game's greatest talents, a teenage Amir, walk off in handcuffs was a heartbreak that symbolised how deep the rot had gotten into the game. Around the same time, corruption stories began to touch English domestic cricket too. At Essex, a 2009 one-day match became the centre of a spot-fixing case. Seamer Mervyn Westfield later admitted accepting money to bowl an over badly and served a jail sentence. Pakistani leg spinner Danish Ganeria, his teammate at Essex, was found by an ECB disciplinary panel to have pressured him into it and was handed a life ban from English and Welsh cricket, a ban the Pakistani board chose to honour as well. Then we come to franchise cricket. If the 2000s were about international teams, the 2010s were about leagues and money. IPL was hit by a huge spot fixing and betting scandal. 3 Rajasthan Royal players, Sreesanth, Ankit Chavan and Ajit Chandila, were arrested and later banned by the BCCI for their roles in spot fixing during IPL. Separate investigations into betting links around the team officials led to powerful IPL franchises, Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals, being suspended for 2 seasons. Even though some criminal charges against individuals were later dropped or overturned, the cricket sanctions stood, and the league was forced into a period of soul-searching and reform. In Bangladesh, the Bangladesh Premier League's second season in 2013 turned into a case study in how quickly a new league can be compromised. Star batter and former captain Mohammad Ashraful admitted his involvement in fixing and spot fixing in BPL matches. He was initially banned for 8 years, with part of that suspended, later effectively reduced to 5, and several other players and officials, including international names like Lou Vincent and Kaushal Lakurachi, were sanctioned for various offences related to fixing or failing to report approaches. For a country where Ashraful had been a poster boy of early Test cricket, that fall from grace was especially painful. What ties all these cases together is not just the individual guilt, but the pattern. Bookmakers and illegal betting markets looking for influence. Players, sometimes underpaid or feeling insecure about their careers, being approached with offers that looked life-changing. Corruption often starting small, a piece of information here, a no ball there, before spiraling. And it's also important to stress this was not a subcontinent-only problem, even though many high-profile cases came from there. We've just talked about South Africa, India, Pakistan, Kenya, West Indies, Bangladesh, England, all having players banned or disciplined in that period. The problem, like the sport, was global. So what did cricket do about it? First, harsher bans. Life bans or long suspensions became the norm for proven corruption, sometimes even for failing to report approaches. The message was clear: if you cross this line, your career could be over. Second, more aggressive anti-corruption work. Teams at major events now have mandatory anti-corruption briefings. Players are told to report any suspicious approach immediately or face consequences themselves. Team hotels, dressing rooms, and phone access are monitored more carefully during tournaments. Third, culture change slowly. Senior players and captains now talk much more openly about the responsibility to keep the game clean. Some ex-offenders have even been used in education programs to tell younger players, look what happened to me, don't repeat my mistake. And yet, no one seriously believes the problem is over. As long as there is money in illegal betting markets, there will be people trying to influence sport. Technology has changed the battlefield. Online betting, micro markets, obscure competitions stream from anywhere in the world. Cricket has a tough job to keep up. The 2000s and the 2010s were brutal in that sense. Heroes fell, fans were disillusioned, but they also forced cricket to grow up, to stop pretending it was magically immune to corruption just because it wore white clothes and talked about spirit of the game. If there's one takeaway, it's this: loving cricket doesn't mean ignoring its dark chapters. It means knowing them, learning from them, and demanding better. So the next time you see a miraculous collapse or a bizarre over, you don't have to be cynical, but you can be grateful that because of everything that happened in the decade before, there are more eyes watching, more questions asked, and more tools to protect the game we love. Thank you for watching. Sorry, I know it was a bit heavy. If you found this interesting, hit subscribe and comment below with which crazy cricket story you'd like next. Until next time, see ya!